Hi everyone, Tim here with TC Home Inspections. Today's topic is toxic black mold. What you need to know about mold before you buy your next property. Well, there is an entire industry online, in my opinion, that's out there that is scaring people to death. And it talks about toxic black mold. And I want to put it in perspective. And this is coming from a property inspector, a company that's done thousands of inspections, home inspections, thousands of inspections in regards to mold testing. And I want to put it in perspective because there's just so much scary information out there online. And the first thing to know is when most people go through a home and they see any kind of mold that's dark in color, they will say they have toxic black mold and they're really concerned about it. But I really want to put that in perspective because hundreds of molds out there are dark in color, and it does not make it toxic. In fact, the word black mold doesn't really exist. In other words, black mold is a catch-all phrase for a group of mold spores that actually do give off sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes mycotoxins, which are toxins that can affect you. The main mold that people are talking about that's dark in color is called Stachybotrys. The name even makes you scared. Stachybotrys, what is it? Well, it's a particular kind of mold that is found in just a few homes, not very common, but it is found in homes that have had, in most cases, a tremendous water problem, like a flood, like a large water leak, a pipe leak, something like that, that really feeds this type of mold and it allows it to grow very rapidly. So Stachybotrys is a mold that is real. It's what people are usually referring to when they say black mold. And the thing to know about Stachybotrys that's important for you is it's just not really commonly found in most homes. It's only going to be found where there's a tremendous water problem. And most homes do not have tremendous water problems. So I want to be very specific about that. When you go online and you see black mold, toxic mold, generally they're speaking about this Stachybotrys mold, but it's usually not that big of a deal in most homes. In fact, we have done hundreds of mold tests, and I'll tell you what we normally find. We find three common household molds. Molds that are found on almost every laboratory report that we produce. And I should say, the only way you actually know what kind of mold spores are present is to have them tested by a state licensed laboratory. Most people cannot look at a mold spore on a wall or a surface and tell you what kind of mold it is. The reason is because there's 100,000 molds out there that can be in a home. So mold is everywhere. Fungus is everywhere. So the three most common molds that we find when we inspect a home are Clostridium, Aspergillus, and Penicillium. Those three molds are everywhere. And if we do a mold test, 9 times out of 10, those three molds are going to show up on that report. Here's what you need to know about the three most common molds. In our experience, those are the guys, those are the mold spores that bother most people. The common molds, the molds that are everywhere. And what happens is, in the right conditions, maybe they're exposed to excessive humidity, those common molds will grow to a very high level in some homes and cause allergens or health concerns. Those are the molds to be concerned about for the most part, not the Stachybotrys. It's the common molds. And it's just not really sexy to talk about the common molds, but those are the ones in our experience that cause most people the majority of problems. So the EPA and the CDC basically say very clearly that for the average person that has a good, strong immune system, molds are not going to cause health problems for the most part. They're just not. Now, the caveat to that is the CDC and the EPA say, yeah, but you still want to reduce the mold spore count in your homes. But I can just tell you from years of experience, for most people that have strong immune systems, they're not going to be affected by most mold spores. The main thing also to know about mold spores in homes is as long as you have a relatively clean home and as long as you're not exposed to super high levels of these common molds, you'll be just fine in most cases. The things also to know are the people that are at risk. Really, who are we talking about that really have the biggest problems with mold of any kind? And they're like many other health concerns. They're going to be the very young, the adolescents, children, and the elderly. Also, people that have allergies or asthma. And then finally, anyone that has a compromised immune system. And I tell people this all the time, but trust your feelings, trust your body. If you walk into a home and your nose starts to run and your eyes start to water, chances are there's something in that home that's bothering you, and to trust your senses, because mold is unique. Allergens are unique to every person. And I've had many occasions over the years, I walk into a property with a person that has mold issues and I am feeling totally fine. I look over at them and their eyes are running, their nose is running, and there's something in that property that's really bothering them. And for those people, those compromised people, those are the ones you should really have a mold test or air quality test performed. But for the majority of people, and again, according to the CDC and the EPA, it's probably not even necessary to do a mold test unless there's a health concern. Well, I hope this is beneficial. I wanted to put this to rest because so many people are concerned about the black toxic mold. And for the most of the cases that we see, most of the homes, it's a really not that big of an issue. It's the common molds that bother most people, especially when they become elevated in the air. Well, this is Tim with TC Home Inspections. I hope this is helpful. Subscribe to our channel. I always give additional information as it comes through, whatever our clients are asking. I like to summarize it and put it in perspective. Give us a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next video.